Hey guys, welcome to Cutting Edge EDC. Big thank you to Metal Complex and everybody that's come over to support the channel. I appreciate each one of you. And if you're watching for the first time and you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Uh, Give us a like, leave us a comment. We appreciate all the feedback that we can get. It helps us make better videos. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Spyderco Shaman. This is one of my personal favorites that I own. I think is a really cool knife. It's got a few cool features, and it's a little bit different than what we're used to seeing from Spyderco. Now, this is not a new knife. This debuted in 2017, so at the time I'm recording this in 2024, this thing has been out for 7 years at this point. So not a new knife, but you know, better late than never. So we're going to talk about it. Before we get into it, I want to bring out a couple other Spydercos that I've got on the table here. Now I don't have the paramilitaries. I don't have a Mannix for whatever reason. Probably because I don't have uh, all of the money that I'd like to buy knives. But we do have a few Spydercos on the table here, and we're going to take a look at them. So we have got the Astute. We have got the Matriarch 2. And then from way out of left field, we have got the Spider card. So, what I want to look at here with these different knives that we've got in front of us is we've got a budget friendly EDC folder. You can pick this particular knife up for around $55. We have got a uh, just absolute man killer of a knife here with the Matriarch 2. And we have got a wild novelty in the Spider card. I'll pull this thing out, show you what that looks like. So that's the Spider card. It's a novelty. There's no good way to hold it. It's really awkward in hand. The blade shape is not ideal for most tasks. It has a nice grind to it. So yeah, I mean you could cut something with this, but this is not a knife that you're going to want to use on a regular basis. It is a novelty, but it fits in your wallet, so that's cool. Um, what I want to look at here is what does Spyderco typically bring to the table? When I think of Spyderco, I think of knives that are well built for utility. I don't think of very refined, uh, high end folding knife when I think of Spyderco. Now, I'm a big fan of Spyderco. I think their stuff is really nice, but they bring something different to the table than, say, Microtech um, or some of the higher end Benchmades. I don't think of collectors' knives when I think of Spyderco. Um, that's again not sorry to qualify everything, but I'm not trying to offend anybody who collects Spyderco. I think it's great. Um, so, out of all the practicality and all of the sensibility and some of the novelty, um, we get the Shaman, which is just somehow more refined than everything else. We've got a beautiful, smooth G10 handle, a nice thick back spacer, and a nice thick blade. It's just something that sets this knife apart a little bit. The action on this thing is just absolutely silky smooth. There are a bunch of different ways that you can open this knife, which makes it perfect for fidgeting around with. If you like to pull your knife out and fidget with it while you're watching TV, this is a great choice. It's also a really, really good everyday carry. You could probably tell by looking at this knife. Now, it has been modified a little bit, but you could probably tell by looking at this knife that I do use it. It's not, this is not a safe queen by any means. And in using this knife, I have really come to appreciate one particular thing that Spyderco does really well, which is the heat treat. This blade is S30V, which is a good steel, but I, until about a year ago, carried pretty much exclusively Benchmade knives. And in S30V, I have the Grizzly Ridge. I had a couple bug outs. I had a Barrage, all good knives, but I developed in my mind an image of what S30V performance looks like based off of my experience with Benchmades. That image was shattered when I got this Spyderco because the heat treat is next level. The edge retention on this knife with the S30V is excellent. Uh, I would say the edge retention is more comparable to like an M4. Um, it it really holds a nice edge, uh, far surpassing any of the S30V Benchmades that I've had. So if the standard in your mind, like it was for me, is that Benchmade S30V is indicative of all S30V, I would say pick up a Shaman and try it out. I've really enjoyed using this knife. Let's take a look real quick at the specs on this knife. Um, we will, I'm going to be honest with you. I've got a little cheat sheet over here. I'm using notes. I will pull out a tape measure just so that we can get a look at things. But I've got the hard numbers in front of me here. Okay, bringing it out my wife's pretty little tape measure, just so that we can kind of get a look at the whole thing, trying to get this thing to cooperate. There we go. So the blade is going to be coming in at 3.58 inches, just a little over 3.5 inches. The handle is going to be just about 4.5 inches, bringing this knife to around 8 inches. It's a full size knife. Uh, so if you're looking for something small, I would, recommend spending $55 on something like this. It's not going to be the same quality, but if you don't want a big knife, um, don't buy a big knife. S30V, as I mentioned before, it does have G10 scales on both sides with a steel frame that runs the length of the knife on both sides. And we have got the compression lock, which I'll be honest, takes some getting used to. But once you get used to it, I really like the design. I'll be I'll be honest with you, I cut myself with this knife a couple times before I got the hang of that. So be aware if you're going to purchase this knife. Um, you have to keep your fingers out of the way of the blade, which probably doesn't need to be explained, but it took me a little trial and error to figure that one out. All in all, compression lock I think is a great choice. Really solid lockup. Uh, I won't say that there's zero blade play, but very minimal blade play. Not anything that you're going to notice in everyday cutting tasks. Um, so I give the compression lock a pass on that one. I say that's good. The pocket clip is not a deep carry. I don't care about that. But if you're dead set on having a deep carry, don't worry. This knife has been out long enough that there are plenty of deep carry options aftermarket. So if you want a deep carry pocket clip, you can go on Etsy or wherever and find one of those. Uh, I think this clip is fine, but to each their own. You can carry this any old way you want to. You see the little triangles there with the screws, the screw holes. You can put this clip anywhere you want to orient this knife in your pocket however you see fit. So if you're left-handed, if your hands are upside down, whatever you're working with, you can accommodate with the clip on this knife. So you are going to be in the clear on that one. All in all, this is a really great knife. I picked this one up for, I think I paid $280 for this. The prices have gone down a little since I bought this one. There have been other versions available, some sprint runs, um, and stuff like that, where you could get some different color G10. I think they even had a carbon fiber version sprint run for a little bit more money. I think that ran around $400. But you can pick these knives up. They are available. I checked just this evening. You can pick them up at Blade HQ and probably a couple other places. I am not sponsored by any of them, so it really makes no difference to me. But I do recommend this knife. So if you want to pick one up, all you got to do is look for it and you will find it. Seek and ye shall find. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do that and leave us a like, leave us a comment, and I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me in this video. Have a good day.